Let's take a look at the basic syntax of how you would implement inheritance for a class. Taking a look at this example, you can see the syntax for inheritance. Notice that you have a class definition up here. This is the basic syntax. This is really no different than any other class definition we've been using thus far. We have an access modifier that precludes the class keyword, then the name of the class. Notice the base class name, the colon denotes inheritance. So this class, called class name, inherits from base class name. Notice the square braces denotes that inheritance is optional. Here are some examples of the syntax. I have a class called truck and inherits from vehicle. I have a sales manager class and it inherits from employee. I've got an employee class which inherits from person. Notice the braces just denotes the implementation of each of these classes. Now, one of the rules of inheritance in C# is single inheritance. Just like Java or VisualBasic.net, C# only supports single inheritance, inheriting from a single class directly. So notice each one of these derived classes inherit directly from only a single base class, and that's one of the rules of C# inheritance. Let's take a look at the last two examples that we have here. We have sales manager inherits employee, and employee inherits person. So you can see kind of the hierarchy of the classes that we've created. So person is the base for employee, and employee is the base for sales manager. Now what happens here is that this class has class members, properties, and methods that will be inherited by employee. So employee inherits the members of the person class, plus it adds a few of its own. So you can see what we mean by a derived class being more specialized or specific. It takes on the members of the person class, of its base class, but then it adds some of its own characteristics, some of its own personality. So there might be methods or properties that aren't in person that are specific to the employee class. Now, sales manager inherits directly from employee. But because the employee class inherits from person, sales manager is inheriting both members from person and employee. Now keep in mind that employee and person can decide which members it's going to share with sales manager. So employee or person can hide certain members that they don't want inherited. And then sales manager can add on top of that its own members. There've got to be properties and methods that are specific to a sales manager which wouldn't be included for an employee. For example, the sales manager might have a commission property that just doesn't make sense for an employee class. So you can see that the syntax is quite simple. What you've got here is the ability to do single inheritance in C#, where the derived class inherits members from the base class.